In October 1987, a truck driver named Mykola Ritsenko was driving a route through the Poltava region of central Ukraine when his engine failed at 2 in the morning at a crossroads between 4 empty roads. No towns visible in any direction. No lights except his headlights pointing into the dark. He got out to check the engine. The dog was sitting in the exact center of the crossroads. Larger than any dog he had seen, black in a way that seemed to absorb the headlights rather than reflect them. It was not doing anything, not growling, not approaching, not retreating, just sitting, perfectly still, looking at him with eyes that caught the light the wrong way, gold, not the green or red of normal animal eyes. Gold and steady and patient. He stood beside his truck for 40 minutes waiting for the engine to cool. The dog did not move for 40 minutes, did not blink that he could see, did not shift its weight or look away or acknowledge anything except him. When he finally got back in the truck and the engine started first try, though it had refused to start 6 times before, he drove away without looking in the mirror. He told his wife when he got home. She was from a village in the Poltava region, and she knew the old stories. She listened to the description, the size, the color, the eyes, the stillness, and then she asked one question. "Did it let you leave?" He said yes. She nodded and said, "Then you gave it the right answer." He said he had not said anything. She said, "Exactly." The crossroads has been a place of power in human belief for as long as humans have made roads. Not in one tradition or one region, everywhere. Every culture that built roads also built mythology around the places where roads crossed. The Greeks left offerings there for Hecate. The Romans considered them sacred to the god of boundaries. In West African tradition, the crossroads is where Eshu stands, the spirit of communication and chance. In the Slavic tradition, the crossroads was the threshold between worlds, the place where the road you were on met all the roads you were not taking, where your path intersected with every other possible path, where choice was most visible and most consequential. It was where the dead were sometimes buried, specifically suicides and those who died without last rites, because the crossroads belonged to neither world fully and could contain what neither world would accept. And it was where the black dog waited, not always visible, not always present in any form a human could perceive, but always there, in some sense, a permanent resident of the in-between place, as the Domevic was a permanent resident of the house, and the Leshy was a permanent resident of the forest. The crossroads was his domain. He had been there before the roads were built. He would be there after they crumbled. He appeared most often at night, specifically in the hours between midnight and 3, when the boundary between the living world and whatever lay beyond it was thinnest. He appeared to travelers alone, never to groups. He appeared at moments of transition, not just physical transition, the crossing of a road, but personal transition. People at turning points in their lives encountered him more often than people moving steadily along established paths. The accounts describe him consistently, always black, not dark brown or very dark gray, but black in the complete sense, the absence of light rather than the presence of dark color. Always large, the size varied from account to account, from large dog to something closer to a pony, but always larger than any natural dog had a right to be, always still, always watching, and always with those eyes, gold in most accounts, amber in a few, but always with a quality of intelligence behind them that no natural animal possessed. A focused, patient, evaluating intelligence that looked at you and appeared to be making a determination about something, weighing something, coming to a conclusion that it did not share. What did he want? The old accounts are less clear on this than on any other spirit in the Slavic tradition. He did not feed. He did not collect. He did not protect territory or punish disrespect or seek company. He simply appeared and watched, and eventually either left or did not. The distinction between those two outcomes, leaving or not leaving, is where the accounts become both most specific and most troubling. People he left alone continued their journeys and arrived where they were going, and lived their lives with nothing changed except the memory of those gold eyes in the dark. People he did not leave alone did not continue their journeys, not because he harmed them directly. The accounts contain almost no description of direct harm from the black dog, no attacks, no pursuit, nothing violent. He simply remained. And something about his remaining, about the sustained weight of that golden attention, about being held at the crossroads in the dark by something that would not move, was itself the harm. In 1834, a young merchant was found at dawn at a crossroads outside Kharkiv, sitting in the road, unable to speak or stand. The black dog was gone by the time he was found. There was nothing there, no evidence of anything unusual except the merchant himself, who had been perfectly healthy and purposeful when he had passed through that same crossroads the previous evening. He recovered his speech after 3 days. He recovered his ability to walk after a week. But he never recovered his ability to make decisions. Not large decisions only, any decision. What to eat, which road to take, whether to open a window. He would stand before any choice, however small, and simply stop, as if the faculty of choosing had been removed at that crossroads and replaced with nothing. The people who knew the old stories said this made sense. The crossroads was the place of choice, the place where roads diverged and you selected one and left the others behind. The black dog was the guardian of that place, and those he held at the crossroads too long, those who could not satisfy whatever evaluation he was performing, left the crossroads without the thing the crossroads was meant to teach. They had stood at the place of choice and been found unable to choose, and so choice left them. In 1923, a woman named Haya Moros encountered the black dog at a crossroads near her village in the Venetia region at 11 at night. She was walking home from her sister's house, a journey she had made hundreds of times on a road she knew completely. She came around a bend, and he was there, in the center where the roads met, watching her approach. She stopped. She remembered what her grandmother had told her, the one thing you were supposed to do if you met him. She stood at the edge of the crossroads, not entering it, and she looked at him directly, and she said out loud, clearly, and without hesitation, "I know where I am going, and I know why." Then she waited. He looked at her for a long moment with those gold eyes. Then he stood. She said the movement was slow and deliberate, like something very old rising from a position it had held for a very long time, and he walked to the edge of the crossroads and sat down again, leaving the center clear. She walked through without looking at him and continued home. She felt his eyes on her back for the entire length of the road, but he did not follow. He did not move. When she reached her door and finally turned to look back, the crossroads was empty. Just four roads meeting in the dark, as they always had, as they always would. Why does he test travelers? The oldest traditions offer an answer that is more philosophical than supernatural. The crossroads is the place where you must know yourself, must know where you're going, and why, must be certain enough of your direction to pass through the place of all possible directions, without being stopped by the weight of unchosen paths. The black dog tests that certainty. Not maliciously, he is not an enemy. He is a function of the crossroads itself, the way a lock is a function of a door. He is what happens when the place of choice asks you whether you are capable of choosing. Most people are. They'd pass through with nothing more than a memory of gold eyes in the dark. But some people arrive at the crossroads already lost, already uncertain of their direction, already stopped by the weight of unchosen paths before he ever appears. For those people, his appearance is not a test, but a revelation. He shows them what they already were. He holds up a mirror at the place of choice and lets them see that they have already, before this moment, become unable to choose. The protection was the same as the cure, and this was unusual in the Slavic tradition, where protection and cure were usually different things. You knew where you were going. You knew why. You said it out loud at the crossroads, clearly, without hesitation. Not to him specifically. You did not address him, did not acknowledge him as an entity you were negotiating with. You simply stated your direction and your purpose to the crossroads itself. I am going to my sister's house because she is ill and needs help. I am going to the market because my family needs food. I am going home because my children are waiting. Simple, specific, true. The crossroads asked if you knew your direction. You answered, and the guardian of the crossroads, hearing an answer that satisfied the question, stepped aside. Mykola Hritsenko, the truck driver, drove that route for another 20 years before he retired. He'd passed through dozens of crossroads in those 20 years at all hours and all conditions. He never saw the black dog again. But he developed a habit that his colleagues found slightly odd. Every time he passed through a crossroads at night, he said something out loud in the cab. Not a prayer, not a formula, just his destination and his reason. Kiev, delivering machine parts, home by Friday. Kharkiv, picking up the load, back by Tuesday. Simple and specific and true. His colleagues asked him once why he did it. He thought about it for a moment and then said, "So whatever is listening knows. I know where I am going." They laughed. He smiled. He did not explain further. Some things you learn at 2 in the morning, at a crossroads in the dark, with gold eyes watching you from the center of the road, that cannot be fully explained in daylight. Some knowledge only makes sense in the place where it was learned, at the meeting of roads, in the hour between worlds, in the patient presence of something that has been waiting there since before the roads existed and will be waiting there long after they are gone. Know where you are going. Know why. Say it out loud when you reach the place where the roads cross. And if something large and black and still is watching you from the center, do not run, do not look away. Just say it clearly, and mean it, and walk through. He will let you pass. He always lets pass the ones who know their direction. It is only the lost ones he keeps.